Welcome back to another balanced budget. Here we talk all things from the money that comes into your account, out of your account, how you can start budgeting your life and find balance within every area. Now we talk about our income, our bills and expenses, any debt you may have. Then we try to sink some money into savings, but we also make sure that we can spend along the way. Now, as a reminder, I am not a financial advisor. I am not a financial coach. I am just someone sharing my budget for my family and how we live our lives. Now, these numbers are realistic within reason. There's money that we move throughout the month and throughout our accounts that don't always hit this paper, but this is pretty realistic to where we are going. Now, this month we realistically knew that we were going to be on the higher end of our budget. We knew that we had savings, we had spending, we had some dental bills. We knew that there was a lot that could shift the budget this month, but let's jump right into how we're closing out our budget and how we are jumping into the next month with either a rollover. Hopefully we don't have to put any money aside for being in the negative, or we zero-based budget perfectly where we had no money left over. Now, these numbers will be rounded a little bit down and up, but then at the end, I will show you every single bill and expenses, and I will also show you our end template for the month. So jumping right in, welcome back. If this is your first time with Balance While Blooming, my name is Bridget. I am 25 years old. I will be 26 in September, and I share all areas of my life. I share family, I share mindset, I share productivity. I share so much behind the scenes in my life by just sitting here and talking to you guys about how I balance, how I plan, and how I achieve my goals along the way. Anything and everything is kind of open here, from finances, mindset, relationships, confidence, and so much more. If you have a topic that you want me to talk about how I balance it in my life, let me know. But if not, just join our community, follow me over on Instagram, and really just start balancing your life one area at a time. And we are going to jump right into how the end of July into August ended up. We did end up closing on the 23rd, and you will see where all of our money is going. First things first is always your income. How much money comes in is so important because all the money that comes in gets distributed throughout the month. So my husband is paid weekly, I'm paid bi-weekly. We had money in our accounts that were just overflow that we are putting into savings. We had some rollover from last month, and then we had savings to be put in our health and dental fund from before that we pre-saved and moved to pay a bill. Hopefully we achieved over $11,900 as we lowball all of these and realistically show you what we made. So for my husband, he is in a busier season and his paychecks are going to show that for sure. As you can see, most of them are over 800, but we did not take his fifth paycheck. We are actually rolling that over into next month's budget, so you will see that. But we did take my August 23rd check. So this would have been his August 23rd. We moved that to next month and we closed the month on this day, and we needed this money. So what I made was $1,890. And that realistically happened. Now, I will say we did get full rent. It was kind of wish-wash with some cash that my husband used. So instead of moving the money, we realistically only put $1,220 into our account. So that is what I'm counting towards rent, even though they did pay the full $1,400. From our two accounts, our checking accounts, we actually moved $900 of extra that isn't the income that has just sat there. It's kind of rollover or a buffer that we are hopefully going to be moving towards savings. So we put $900 into that as extra money this month. And then we did roll over the full $500. If you want to see that, check out our last budget closeout and you'll see why we have that rollover. You'll see if we have extra here, what we're going to roll over, if we're going to put it somewhere else. And then we did have to move the $2,500 from our savings into our checking account to pay that bill. So let's see what our big income is going to be. And hopefully it is way more than what we thought, which it should be because all of these are pretty much more. Wow. Okay, what a great month. We had $14,195. Of course, some of that was rollover. 2,500 was from our savings, but even then, with the extra paycheck and not taking this paycheck, we still made $3,000 more than what we thought, which is awesome. So we moved that down here, 14,195. So now this 14,000 has to be distributed between all of our bills and expenses, our debt, our sinking funds, and our spending funds. And as you can see, we had a high spending month. So let's talk about our bills and expenses, what we actually spent, and then if we were able to save our money. So jumping right into your bills and expenses, make sure that you know exactly what your bills are, what you need to pay, and what are needs and what are wants. I can go into a whole video of exactly how I pick our money for that month, what I know is going to happen, what is coming up, all of that. But if you want to see that, let me know in the comments below. But as always, we have $1,400 for rent. We pay that to our landlord, who's my mom. $500 for her for utilities. Our gym is not the same this month, so nothing else is actually stagnant. Oh yeah, $115 and $35. Those are always the same too for our phone bill and our internet. Now groceries, as a reminder, it's my husband, I, my stepson, and then we house 3 other people. So our rent and groceries are all of that. We also do our weekend splurge money as some groceries, because we usually get a specialty drink and a specialty snack every single weekend when we do our drop-offs. So that also gets added into there. If we wanted to, we could put those towards our spending and really see how much our groceries are for the month. But what we did do was a bit over, so it was $1,215. So unfortunately, we were $200 over. Now our gym is not normally $100, but we had to pay one of our annual fees, and it actually came out to $75. Our gas was $180, and then our one copay and our monthly health insurance to pay ahead is $655. So we're actually a few months ahead on health insurance, which is great because we can skip that next month when we're in a tighter budget, or whenever we need to for the rest of the year. And then subscriptions was $125, exactly where we thought we were going to sit. But let's see, with some of this being a little bit lower, some of it being a little bit higher, let's see where we sit for our bills and expenses. Okay. Not bad for overspending. It's not terrible. We are only $25 over, so we are in a good place right now for making $3,000 more. We sat pretty even with our bills and expenses, but we are going to jump right into our spending funds. Now, I would typically tell you to close out your debit first, but this is actually a sinking fund for us. It is something that we have no interest in right now, and we have no student loans, no car loans, no anything like that. Credit cards we pay off every month, so this is something that we have bad debt. It's in collections, but it is a sinking fund. They don't let us pay monthly for it, so we can't jump right into that yet. But I want to jump into our spending funds and then see what we really had left to save for everything that we need to save for, and be able to get ahead on some of our sinking funds that are not collections or our home, which is our main goal for the next year or so, is getting our down payment for our home and paying off this bad debt. Okay, jumping right into our spending funds, what I want to talk about is what some of these are. So I'm getting my wisdom teeth out actually in 2 days, and once you guys see this, I'm probably going to be not able to talk for a few days, so I'm pre-recording this. And that bill was around $2,500. That's what this savings was for. Birthdays, we saved a lot last month. We will also be saving a little bit next month, just because we have a vacation that is counted as my husband and I's birthday, but we also have my stepson's birthday, my mom's birthday, my aunt's birthday, all of those things that we need to get miscellaneous stuff for. So we wanted to make sure that we set a hefty budget for our birthdays over August and September, as we do spend a decent amount. We love gift giving, and that is something for us. And then his, her, dining out, fam fun, all of that is really great. Our county fair was in that, so this is why it's on a little bit of the higher end. Miscellaneous, we have so many things throughout the months that we need to just get that life happen. So that's what all these categories are. I'm not justifying them. I don't think it's good for the amount of money that we spend, but I want to be realistic with what we put into each of these categories. So our first one was less, which was great at $630. Our miscellaneous was right under at $365. There was a lot of random stuff that probably could have gone up here that we put into other miscellaneous. That's okay. We stayed on budget at $1,240 for birthday stuff. And then health and dental was $2,460. So we saved enough to sink and have a little bit extra spending funds. And that also helped for some of our groceries that we got this past week for meals for me to eat and everything like that, soft foods, some protein shake stuff, everything like that that is beyond what we normally get at the store. So seeing that we pretty much stayed on budget, this should be less than what we expected, but let's see how much less it actually is. Okay, not bad. We stayed within budget as we knew, because all of these numbers were less than what we thought, but it's still a high month for us. So $4,695. That's still a lot of money, and it's a lot, right? When you really think about it, we only had about $3,000 to save before. So that being said, we weren't really sure what we were gonna do when it came to saving money this month, but having this extra $3,000, let's see how much money we were actually able to sink between our collections, our home, our vacation, and any other categories. So what you do is you take your income minus your bills and expenses. Again, if you have debt, please subtract that first. Then we're gonna minus our spending, and we are sitting at $5,200. That is ridiculous for us to be saving $5,200, and that's if we zero-based budget. And I'm pretty sure we were pretty damn close this month. So let's see how much we were actually able to put into our collections. Into collections for our bad debt, we put $2,250. That's awesome. That is about $700 more than what we thought. And that is really great when we are talking about what our new total is, how far we are from having to save, and getting to pay this off by mid-2025 is ideal. So that we have here $2,250. So now we need to subtract that. Then we have $2,950 left over. We have our home. Our home is our down payment. We actually just upped what we thought our down payment should be, which is crazy. I know people normally know what they want, but I work in the industry and I was like, I want to have a little bit more of a nugget, or be able to put more down, or have money aside to put into our house when the time comes. So I upped the amount. Now, I'm not going to in our September budget with me, but at the end when we are talking about our October reset, so not our September reset, October reset, look out for that. Make sure you join. I will be breaking down a whole video of what we plan to save over the next few years to be on budget to save, and really showing you what these numbers are and the non-negotiables that we have to save to pay off everything and have an emergency fund in time for what we need. So for our home, we paid $1,950 into our savings. Paid. We moved it into an account that we don't see. I call it a payment on our tracking thing. And then vacation, what this is part of our payment for next month. I knew that this month was going to be a little bit better, so we put the full $500 into that. Now, if I do, once again, I am like sloppy today. I think this is a different color, but it's okay. We need to make sure that we stayed within our means. So to make this zero, once again, you take your income and subtract everything else to figure out what this number needs to be. So you had 195 minus 43 500 minus 2250 minus 4695 is 2950. So all of this should add up to 2950 if we made it zero, which I am going to, spoiler alert, we did. We pretty much came down to zero. When I show you the real numbers, it's like pennies or dollars that we actually saved. So we have the 2950. We need to subtract the 1950, and then we need to subtract the 500. So we have 500 left. What are you going to do with that money, Bridget? What are you going to do with that $500? We actually have an insurance bill for our car insurance. We pay it in December in whole. And I was like, let's just save that now. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Let's just save the last 500 that we need to make our 2100. We already had some money in there. It's rolled over the last couple months. We've called it emergency fund. Sometimes we called it other. We've called it so many different things. And when we broke down all of our money and sat down with ourselves, we were like, okay, we need about 500 to be able to do that. So we have closed that out, making that this budget for the first time ever, according to our spreadsheet, is actually at zero. Now let's break down our expenses, every single penny that we spent, and then I will show you the exact numbers as well. So let's just close this budget out completely by showing you what we've really spent our money on. As always, I want you to remember this is our budget, this is how we are spending our money, and this is how we are breaking it down per the category. So as you can see over here, we have our gas. Our gas is very much just a few times a week. My husband more than me, so I probably filled up 2 times and he filled up the other 3. Then we have everything in here. Dunkin's was the day that we didn't have coffee at the house. We have a bunch of like small convenience stores. We have our supplements. We have our wholesale club. Most of it is our Stop and Shop. We also had a birthday this month, so we made cake. We were in like a whole big like trying new recipe moods, so that was really fun. Then we have all of our bad debt savings. As you can see here in the orange, that is all of our bad debt. That's how we saved it up. Then our home is in this lighter blue, darker blue actually, and then the teal has the 2 random insurance and vacation. As you can see, we have an ally account. That is where we decide to put them. We actually have multiple depending on the area of life. Then you have all of our subscriptions, you have our gym memberships, everything like that. We have everything that we pay our landlord, so our rent. Then we have our insurance, our health insurance and everything like that. Our health insurance through Mass Health. Then we have our copay, and then we have our phone and our internet there, and that was a big chunk. That was $8,101. So we have a huge portion right there, as we only spent $1,300 between gas and groceries and household and random. Then we go to our spending funds. All of our spending funds came to $8,701. What did that consist of? A bunch of random things. So we have my wisdom teeth removal, a bunch of random Amazon stuff for birthday. Our dining out was a lot of random stuff, as you can see, our county fair. Then we have just random things, as you can see. Now, miscellaneous, we had an oil change, more random Amazon stuff for home, a Temu order. We bought shoe department stuff. It really wasn't his or hers. It was just kind of like a random buy. And then I put this DJ Sports pub as random because I paid for it for my boss. And in total, all of our expenses and just all of the money that came out of our account was $14,201.09. So again, showing you the exact numbers here, we actually walked away with $17.72. We had $14,218, and then everything else is about the same. So as you can see, our bad debt was $22.50. Our expenses was $4,299, so we rounded that up to $4,300. And then our sinking and spending funds, if you want to know the exacts, our spending funds was $4,701.54. Our sinking fund was $2,950. I don't split them up on here. I should, but I don't. So it's sinking and spending funds for $7,651.54. As a reminder, this is our budget. This is how we moved our money this month. This is our financial situation. We do know that September is going to be a bit tight of a month and we have less money moving, less extra paychecks, all of that. So come along on this journey as we talk about finances, mindset, how to become your best self, balance your life one day at a time to bloom into the person you want to be. And you can start with that by working one day at a time on your budget, on your finances, on your mindset, and anything about money, life, and more. All areas of life are so important. If money is just something that interests you, that you want to start focusing on, that's great. If you want to talk about another area of your life, let me know in the comments because I can show you different areas of my life and how I do it. I know you guys love to see a good balanced budget. You love to see people who may not have as much debt, people who are more realistic with their numbers, and people who really let you put your spending funds as important as every area of your life. Of course, if we were in a different financial situation, I'd be giving you different advice, but I think it is important to always balance your bills and expenses, your wants and needs, and who you really want to be in the life you want to live one day at a time. So as always, keep balancing, keep budgeting, and bloom into the person that you want to be one day at a time. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.